Hey guys, it's Phil Morrison. I help naturally quiet people to overcome social anxiety and build confidence connecting with people. I help them to develop their natural talents and also to build a positive and healthy lifestyle. So how can you, as an adult, practically overcome the effects of high school bullying? Challenging subjects. I'm going to start by explaining something which I learned from a book on overcoming trauma. And then I'm going to explain how we can do this as adults. So, imagine that there's a herd of gazelle and a lion chases after this herd. The gazelle, they dart off and attempt to flee the scary situation. One gazelle slips and it hits the ground. So the gazelle initially tried to flee the situation. The fight or flight response kicked in, but now it's fell and it's aware that it can't flee the situation. It knows that it's much weaker than the lion, so it can't fight either. This means that the gazelle is left with only one option, one card to play in this dangerous situation. This card is known as the freeze response. Playing possum, playing dead. If the gazelle can convince the lion that it's been dead for ages, the lion might not eat it because it might believe that it's not fresh meat. The lion wants to kill an animal and eat it straight away, not eat something that might have started to rot. So the gazelle, it plays dead. And on this occasion, it gets really lucky. The lion decides not to risk it. When the lion's gone away, the gazelle stands back up, trembling with fear, and it reunites with the herd. What happens next is really amazing. So the other gazelle, they reenact the traumatic event, and one of them plays the role of the lion. So the gazelle that's trembling with fear gets to repeatedly practice escaping the threat, redoing the situation which caused the trauma over and over and over again until it's mastered that situation. When the gazelle has mastered this situation, the gazelle knows that it's no longer at a high risk of death when faced with this situation. So there's no need for it to hold on to the trauma. It now trembles again, but this time when it trembles, it's the last time it trembles. It releases that trauma energy and it's no longer traumatized. So in other words, at one point in time, the gazelle was met with a monster and it had no response. It got beaten by the bully, so to speak, but it luckily escaped. It was terrified of that situation happening again, but the gazelle faced its fear in a safe environment, a simulated version of the fear, upskilled, and got to a stage where the monster that was once a threat, that situation, was no longer perceived as a threat. And this is how the gazelle overcomes trauma. It's the same with humans. A situation in the past might have beat us. The situation might have had us paralyzed and frozen with fear. But a lot of time has passed, presumably, between the traumatic incidents that are affecting you now and where you're at in your life in the present moment. The traumatic event to the present moment, there's a big time gap. A lot of development has happened in that time gap. Just because a situation beat you when you was 5 years old, or if it's high school bullying as a teenager, doesn't mean that you can't handle that situation when you're in your 20s or 30s. You've upskilled, it's a different ball game. You're no longer the same person that you was. You've changed so much that how do you know for sure that that situation would beat you? Maybe that person that picked on you in school, maybe you've got their number. And I mean that in a sporting context. There's no way you would let them mess with you anymore. You're more confident. You've got better social skills. You know how to navigate these situations. Things have changed. That's the key realization. And I don't want you walking around with the effects of being bullied playing in your mind. So harmful and so unnecessary. And the best stage to get to is a stage where you've actually forgiven the people that bullied you. You've genuinely forgiven them. You have no hard feelings towards them. They were doing the best they could at the time based on what they knew. They had their own challenges in their childhood, and they genuinely didn't know any better. They were naive, they were stupid. Maybe you triggered them. They were jealous of something about you, and they couldn't stand the fact that you might be more successful in life than them. They saw potential, their ego was triggered, and they attacked you to make themselves feel big. Try to forgive them, because maybe you could meet them at this stage in life right now as a changed man or a changed woman and actually get on. Is it possible that they've changed as a person as well? Maybe they've realized they've made mistakes and they've transformed. A lot of changes happen in life. Why assume that your relationship, your 15-year-old relationship with a 15-year-old bully, why assume that that still applies when you're in your 20s or 30s? Would you be willing to give the people that picked on you a second chance? Because you've changed so much that you're a different person. Like a snake sheds its skin, you've shed your skin so many times that it doesn't apply to the present moment you. And this is a great realization. And what you can do is you can take a leaf from the book of the gazelle, assuming that they have a book. You can put yourself in situations where you're faced with the same kinds of people as an adult. You can train. You can redo the situation. Put yourself in a situation with sporty people, intelligent people, whoever intimidates you, and prove that you can hold your own. Prove that you can handle that situation in a completely different way than the past you handled it. And you'll realize that you're holding on to the past and you're giving the past way too much importance, way too much relevance. It's so easy to think that times haven't changed when they have. You don't want the past to dictate your future. You want the current you to be the writer of your own future, not the past you. You can learn your lessons. As long as you've changed in response to this kind of treatment, you've bettered yourself, you've grown, how do you know for sure that you couldn't handle it now? You're like the gazelle that has upskilled. You're ready to go out there and beat that situation should it even arise. And know that as an adult, the rules of life are completely different than they are as a kid in the playground. I got picked on when I was in high school. I was mute for almost 2 years. My mum worked in the same school as me. I had spots and I had jaundice, bright yellow skin. I wasn't popular. I was a loner. I felt depressed, social anxiety, basically no friends. So I didn't have a fun time in high school. But I'm no longer the same person. In high school, I'd walk into a room knowing that I was for sure the freak of the group. I was for sure the least confident person in the room. But it's not like that anymore. I run events with 60 people, do public talks, coach people for a living. I'm a doctor. I've escaped the 9-to-5 working world and built my own business, and it's taken off. Things are different now. So it wouldn't make sense for me to hold on to the past and act like it's still real when it isn't. I hope that this gives you some inspiration and courage. When you get to the stage where you've genuinely forgiven people that have picked on you, and you'd give them a second chance because you recognize that you've changed, so therefore your relationship with them could be completely different. When you get to that stage and you've let go of that, my God, you're going to be so much lighter, so much happier. It's not about the situation itself, it's always about how you respond to it. And that's something that you have complete control over. Make the bullies the reason why you have to be successful, the reason why you have to work on yourself, get confident, and secure your dream job. They can spur you on. They can be like a sparring partner, keeping you at the top level in boxing. They can make you into a fighter. It's all about how you respond. Never throw the towel in. Keep on going, get stronger, upskill, and with patience, it's possible to completely transform your life. I've done it, and I know that I'm not cut from a different cloth. What I can do, other people can do too. That's why I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, because I help people out in areas where I have personal experience. If you're interested in coming to one of my live events and building confidence, connecting with people, or you want to go down the coaching route, feel free to drop me an email. My events are free, and I offer the first one-to-one coaching session free of charge. Try before you buy. I've helped a lot of people out in this area over the past 3 years, and my goal is to create more success stories for more clients, keep on growing myself, keep on growing the business, and try and make these coffee socials get to a crazy number. I want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there. So I hope that you got value from this video. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate any likes, any subscribers to keep on supporting this channel and helping it grow. If you know anybody that would benefit from this kind of help and support, feel free to send them to my channel, send them to my events, send them my way. And Until next time, keep on going and moving forwards.